Hi, I'm Paul, your helpful locksmith. If you're watching this video, chances are you've just been searching for handle lock set. Great news, you're in a good place. That's exactly what we're going to look at in this video. Okay, so let's have a look now at Lock. Lock is, well, it's been on the market for about 2.5 years now. It is a British standard 2-star handle. The reason it's 2-star is it is the highest number of stars you can have on a handle. However, it does separate itself from all the other 2-star handles by being the only handle on the Sold Secure list. So I think by virtue of accreditation we can officially call this the most secure handle on the market. So let's have a look at why. So it operates very easily. So this here is the internal side, which you can see just operates on a switch. All you do, so you can see the door is unlocked there. So you lift the handle, push that switch down, and that completely deadlocks the door. That cannot be manipulated from the outside, and the reason for that is all the locking mechanism is built onto the inside of the internal part of the handle. And all it does and how it works is when you pull this switch down, it drops over the spindle inside the handle so that you can't pull the handle down. The spindle itself is a patented design. So whereas a standard spindle would normally just be a flat square, which in theory, if you manage to take the outside of the handle off the door, you would be able normally to push a spindle through the door or pull it out the door towards you so that the handle on the inside would just drop off. On this spindle here, you'll see there's a small knuckle here. So when you push this in, when you're changing the handle over, you push the spindle through the door, and then when that knuckle hits the mechanism, the spindle won't go any further. So that stops you from pushing the spindle out into the door to make the handle drop off on the inside. Then on the inside of the door, on the internal part of the handle, you have a pair of grub screws. When you fasten those onto the spindle, they will then grip the spindle on the inside. So that stops you from being able to pull the spindle out of the door, and the knuckle stops you pushing it back into the door. We mentioned that this works by gripping the spindle, stopping you from pulling the spindle. So if somebody goes absolutely crazy and really goes absolutely crazy trying to pull this down while it's locked, this little groove here just in front of the knuckle is actually a sacrificial part. So this spindle is designed to break if it's under attack in that kind of a way. Someone's really trying to force it. So that will deliberately break so that this handle then will just spin round and round and not actually control the door in any way, shape or form. Because the locking mechanism is on the inside, even if somebody managed to strip this completely, the lock would stay, or the handle would stay and sit pretty on the internal side of the door so that the door remains locked, even if you took everything off. But that's not going to be easy to do either. The screws on the handle are 20% thicker than a normal or your standard handle screw. So they're going to be a little bit tougher to bend and break. The two handle sizes I mentioned while we're looking at the screw fixings. This one here is what we would call a long handle. This is 211 millimeters between the two screws. On a short handle, the top screw would sit below the handle grip here. So from here to here would be a measurement of 122 millimeters. Most doors, by the way, that are sort of 10 years or less, I would say 95% of doors, roughly, will fall into one of those two handle sizes. But before you order the handles, it's worth just double checking on the door that you're planning to put these on before you order. So the curved design is, although it's extremely easy on the eye, that's actually a security feature in itself. So ordinarily with a standard handle, what a would-be lock-snapping burglar would want to do would be to grip the handle, pull the handle away. Most of them tend to either bend or snap around here when they grip them, and then they set about going to work on the cylinder to then bypass your door security and gain entry. This curved design here means that they can't actually grip it. You cannot, with mold grips or any other tool, get any real purchase on this handle. Plus the fact it's heavier duty, the weight of it's far heavier than a standard handle, and we mentioned the screws being 20% thicker before. And on top of all of that, even if you do strip everything, as I mentioned before, it still would stay locked and safe. But the chance of someone getting this off in the first place, to even attempt that, is very, very small indeed, particularly the kinds of tools that you would require to get that sort of, to get this off the door. They're not exactly, not going to be very well hidden. They're going to be pretty serious big tools. The appearance, we've already mentioned the appearance being easy on the eye, and this is a nice shiny new handle here. I guess what we want to know is how long will it stay looking like that? Well, the handle itself spent 5,000 hours in a salt spray chamber, and you can see behind me now, that was the result. That is the handle that spent that time in there. And after wiping the foam and the spray, the salt off the handle, that's how it came out looking, which you can see it had little, if any effect. In fact, it really looks like it didn't have any effect on the outside, perhaps on the internal side a little bit, but the outside, the bit that we see, the bit that matters, no effect, which is why the manufacturer offer a 20-year guarantee on the appearance, that this isn't going to be rusted by the elements. So the appearance is going to stay true probably for as long, I would say, as long as you have that handle. So the other and final thing to mention really, so we've got the handle on the block here alongside an 18 cylinder, and for doors that you would use to come in and out of your property, whether it be front door, side door or back door, that's a pretty neat combination. It does mean that when you leave the property you can't lock, but you're still going to lock the door from the cylinder as you normally would. And actually, as we mentioned before, because you can't grip the handle, even when the handle isn't locked, it's still protecting the cylinder. So it's not completely redundant when it's not locked. So you could put this in any door. However, where we have a lot of our customers buying them and fitting them is with the keyless version. So this is perfect. If you have 3 or more doors or entrances to your property, you only really need 2. There'll be the one that you naturally use the most. You'll need a second one, just in case anything ever happened to the first door, whether it be a lost key or if the door broke, you would need a plan B. Always think about having a second entrance to your property. But for a lot of people, particularly when you're talking about French patio doors, that tends to be their third entrance to a property, and therefore you never ever use the key on the outside. You only ever use the key to lock the door from the inside or to open the door to go into the garden. They never ever use the French doors to actually gain entry, and are never likely to. So the keyless version of Lock is a tremendous option, because any would-be burglar thinking about snapping a lock, there is no lock to snap. So it would literally sit on the door just in place of your old handle, and you can see there the difference. That it's visually very impressive, and again, because it's deadlocked and that locking mechanism's on the inside of the door, still safe. What you also gain is a fire escape, because it is a keyless escape. It's just a flick of the switch on the internal side and you're out into your garden if you're fleeing a fire. And even if you're not using it as an escape, the day-to-day convenience, particularly in summer when you're wanting to just pop into your garden, the day-to-day convenience is fantastic. So that would be my recommendation, is for third, or if you've got 3 or more doors or entrances to your property, then Lock keyless is a fantastic option. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I hope you've found this useful. If you do want to know anything more, you can by all means get in contact with us on 0800 002 5258. Head over to our website if you want to learn more at helpplots.com. We'll also put in a link around this video, depending where you're watching it. We'll put a link in there so you can go direct to a page where we specifically show videos or more videos about lock. We'll also put a link to the page at helplots.com, to the shop page, where you can buy lock. Now, fitted, if you're in the West Yorkshire area, there are 5 colours. We fit lock in white or black for £75. We can also fit in chrome, as you see here. We also do gold and a brush steel. They're £95 supplied and fitted. Or on the shop, if you fancy fitting this yourself, we can supply across the UK. And the white and black you can purchase for just £40, and the chrome, gold and brush steel you can purchase for £60. So very cost effective. And as I say, the links are around this video. If you don't want to get in contact and speak to us, again, by all means give us a call on 0800 002 5258, and we'll look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.